Hey guys, I'll just get Adventure here. Had a couple comments that people kind of wanted to see what I was doing, so I'm going to show you what I do during a water change. It's Wednesday, which is the main day I do all my water changes. So while I was starting, I noticed that I had a couple issues with a couple plants that I can easily fix. So I said, you know what, maybe today's a perfect day to show you a little video of what I'm doing, my RO system, what I'm remineralizing with, my Ferts during the week, what I do to keep my plants super healthy. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. And you know, shoot me some comments, what you want to see, what you want to see during the week, what do I do. Yeah, let's have fun with this. So thanks. So if you guys remember a couple videos back, I really had bad BBA in this tank. And I fought it and I won the victory. I figured out what the problem was and I fixed it and everything came back very, very healthy. Unfortunately, I did have 2 stem plants that are a little bit on the lighter of the stem side that looks like they got starved for nutrients a little bit, because when you look towards the root, they're very, very bare. But they have side shoots coming out, and each stem probably had 10 to 15 sides coming out. So all I did was I went through these and I individually picked all the tips that were coming off that were very, very healthy. And I cut them to, you know, 2 to 3 inches. And all I'm gonna do is take the healthy tips and I'm just gonna plant them back. So I took some of the healthier ones already and put them in. I know that these ones are a little bit longer. I try to keep as much healthy plants as I can, especially since the tank is just getting back on course. But if you can kind of see in the back where I already started planting some of the tips back there. So what this is gonna do is just make sure that I have the best, healthiest plants that I can. I'm also gonna do it to these stems back here, and I'm actually gonna move those because I've got some jungle val coming. But when you look around, you know, all the plants are really, really healthy. And, you know, got a little bit BBA left, but it's on its way out. So we're just gonna keep the course and I always call it, we're gonna let Mother Nature do its thing, because I've got great growth going on right now. And we're just gonna keep as much healthy plants in here as possible. I do apologize for some of the murkiness. I have been picking out roots. So, but super happy with where we're at. I'm happy that I've got excellent plant growth, a lot of healthy plants, because that's what's gonna drive out algae. The more healthy plants you have, the less algae has a chance. So we're gonna go ahead and plant these tips. So I'm gonna take care of those, and then I will do a time lapse of my water change, and then I will also show you my RO system, my Ferts, and my mineralized. My ROs. Hey guys, quick little update. So I have planted all the tips and I took up a good amount of room. About to do the water change, so we'll get all that murky and everything else cleaned up. But I pretty much doubled the floor space that I originally did have, with now just healthy tips that are gonna grow back. One thing I do want to add is, you know, I have people ask me all the time, it's like, well, you're doing so much maintenance and you're always trimming and you're always taking care of that. It's twofold for me right now. I haven't, you know, if you know me, I haven't worked since March. I've been on furlough, so this hobby has really helped me keep centered, mentally stable and happy, and given me an outlet to keep my mind busy and keep working and always, you know, figuring out new things and learning. And I'm that guy that just has to keep moving. I can't just sit around. So other than putting my 3 kids through school, this hobby has really helped me stay centered while staying at home during all this. So I don't mind putting in the extra energy, and to be honest, when I'm trimming and all that, and I put on some good music, kind of just zone out, and it just puts me in a great mood. But anyway, one thing I have learned, especially with my tanks, I'm not sure if it works for everyone. Like I said, I'm only going to give advice that I've learned from my tanks. Hopefully it helps some of you. I ended up trimming, as you can tell, a whole bunch of plants, but they're not at the healthiest. Half of them from the root up were very, very healthy, and it looked really great. I could take pictures of it all day and you would never know that there was any problems. But when I get close, I see the possibility to have a healthier tank with as much healthy plants as possible. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to strive to do for these tanks that I have. So every time I take these trimmings, and even when I'm just doing a normal weekly trimming, I notice that every time I do it, the plants come back a little bit brighter, they come back healthier, and I could be wrong, and please tell me if I am, drop a comment. I feel that my plants have adapted so well to their environment that they're in, that now that once I cut them, especially the tip, and I replant it, the roots grow super quick, and I'm getting them to come back at least halfway up within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I can get them to grow back and full of color and just shining bright like a diamond. And so that's what I'm always striving to do. If I'm not having a plant that's healthy, I want to cut it, I want to bring it back, and I'm just bringing back something that's going to be more beautiful anyway, so why not spend a little bit extra time to make my tank as healthy and as beautiful as I can. So hopefully that works for you guys. It's something I've noticed with my tank, so if I see something that doesn't look great, I'm not afraid to rip out a whole bunch, plant the healthy plants back in, and do it. And I will mention what looks here like my whole tank. I was actually able to probably double the surface area of plants back into it, because each stem probably had 4 or 5 shoots coming out of it. So I have double the surface area of healthy plants going back into it that will quickly grow back and will have even more healthy plants than I started with. So I'm okay taking that little bit of a step back to get a better result in the end, if that makes sense. Hey guys, so we're about to start a water change. So I made my life really easy. I've got about 45-50 feet of tubing here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. I'm going to run it straight outside, and instead of having to carry buckets back and forth, I'm going to make my life a little bit easier. You can imagine doing 70 gallons and having to lug all those around. I feel sorry for you guys that have to do that. If you can, try to invest in some tubing. I will also show you how I got tubing and a filter outside, a pump, that I can get it to come right back in, so I don't even have to carry buckets of water to fill it back in. So what I do is I go ahead and run it right outside. I put it in my grass, and I'm kind of knocking 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm getting water out of the tank, and I'm also putting really good water, and I'm watering my grass with it at the same time, so that's one less time I have to water my grass, so I'm kind of saving water at the same time. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make sure that I get the gravel and all those dead leaves that I picked up and any dirt while I was doing the trimming, and get it out of the tank so I can make sure that I have as much healthy water back in here. Now, if I was doing filter changes today, I have 2 1200s underneath. If I was going to clean those, I wouldn't go as deep as I normally would. And the reason behind that is I want to keep as much healthy bacteria in here as I can and not upset the balance. And the last thing I want to do is take all this good bacteria out from here and then clean all the healthy bacteria out of the filters and then put in water. And I'm not saying that I would knock it out of balance, but I'm asking for trouble doing all that maintenance in one go. So I try to split as much as I can between a good gravel clean, a good trimming, and my filter cleanings. So I'll go ahead and do a quick video of my tubing going to the grass. It is dark outside, so I'll get the best video as I can. And then we'll just do a time lapse of me cleaning this up. And right after, as soon as we're done with that, I will show you my RO system and how I get water back into the tank. Alright, so one thing I did buy is a nice little clamp I got from the local hardware store. And all I do is I clamp on the hosing so it doesn't move while I'm getting it ready. And I run this nice long cord outside. And like I said, watering in the grass at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. All right, now that the water is out by probably about 60%, let's go look at what we're gonna put back into it. All right, so here's my RO system and my RO holding tank, which is about 300 gallons. I go through about 110 gallons on water change days. So I got the RO system, RO Buddy, with 4 stages. And then I've got the booster here because I'm going through so much. It's helping me get a higher output with less waste per day. The actual system is regulated at 50 gallons per day. I'm probably getting about 60 to 70 gallons a day. So constantly keeping this thing filled up just to make sure I always have water. If you did see my last post, I did run out last week and took a little bit of time to fill it back up. So right here I got a nice little pump that I can attach to my actual holding center, and then I got a little fitting off of the hardware store that I can attach this to, which connects to the tubing that I can then run straight to the house. I won't show it with you on because it is pretty loud when it is on camera, but this helps me pump it straight back into the house without having to carry the buckets. Now for this tank and my other non-shrimp tanks, all I use is equilibrium. Helps me remineralize my water and get my GH to where I want it. Not too worried about my KH in my non-shrimp tanks. I don't really have a problem with that, and this product has done really well for me. So I will go ahead and right before I fill up, I will mix up what I need, which is about 3 tablespoons. And I'll have this mixed up in the cowboy's cup. I will add, and I'll have this ready to go because right as I'm filling it up, I will throw this in so it gets nice and mixed up and dissolved as I'm filling up the tank. So to fill up, all I did was attached 5/8 tubing that was just a little bit bigger than my other tubing, straight to an old outlet tubing that I had. I hook it up to the pump that you saw outside and we'll let it go. So let's throw this on a time lapse and fill her up. So before we do a quick little overview, these are the Ferts that I use from GLA. Got my micros and macros. Very easy to use. It's a 6-day system. So on water change day, I do nothing. It's kind of a reset. So on Thursday, Saturday, Monday, I will throw in the 3 micros. And then every other day other than that, I will use the macro. And it's very easy to use with all the measurements right here, detailed how to use it, very easy to use. Yes, it is a daily kind of thing, but what I've done to make my life a little easier is I've taken a little pill bottle, I've labeled them for all my tanks, and I drop it in right before the lights come on, and I'm done. So highly recommend trying them out if you haven't. Great product. A little pill bottle. All right, well, hope you enjoyed all that. Quick recap. So trimmed some of the plants, the ones that weren't looking too well at the bottom, planted healthy tips, did a water change, cleaning up a lot of the gunk off the bottom and as much of the dead leaves that I could. Talked about my RO system and equilibrium that I use just for the GH. I want to add that that's only for this tank and 2 others that I don't have any shrimp in. If I was doing my shrimp tank, I would be using a KH by Shrimp Kings. Filled it up. While I was doing that, I cleaned the glass one more time with the highlights and the unstableness. I still have a little bit of green algae, so just cleaning up the last bit of that. Little trick, I am using a little bit of vinegar and water. If you watch Aquarium Psycho, he did a nice little tip about that, so check that out for that. Filled it up, cleaned the glass one more time, added the equilibrium as it was going. We talked about the dry ferts, so I hope that's a little quick overview on how I do. It's a pretty heavy maintenance for the 125. Next week it's just going to be a drain and fill as long as everything just pops back up, which, you know, it should be. So thanks again for watching. Comments, likes, subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks. Cheers.